Eagles by 8. Brady lines them up. He's back again. He steps up. He's hit. He stumbles. He is throwing it deep for the end zone, and it is batted around and incomplete. And the game is over. The game is over. The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you. Let the celebration begin.
Aloha, everybody. What's going on out there? It is finally here, Pags.
Woo!
It is draft week. It is back. We actually have something concrete to talk about. We don't need to read bullshit mock drafts, bullshit smoke screens. Basically, the entire NFL is full of shit for the month of March and April, Pags.
And after this, you get like those late free agency signings with the guys that are filling in for what they didn't draft for. So you kind of see your team after a couple of weeks here.
With that being said, Pags, I'll go into a little bit of my spiel here on kind of where I think they're at, and you can give me your reactions and tell me if I'm wrong or right. But basically right now on paper, I think the Eagles are in a great spot because I think without any draft day or draft weekend additions, that this is a 10-win team already. So with that being said, they're drafting this weekend not for immediate needs this year, however, for years 2, 3, and 4 of this draft class. So to me, that says that Howie Roseman, we know wheeling and dealing Howie Roseman likes to do his best Kevin Costner draft day impression. And I think we may see a move or two. But ultimately what I'm thinking is the more picks, the better, which tells me I think they're going to trade down more than they're going to trade up. And this is really going to be about the future and filling depth and not so much immediate impact players.
To an extent, I do think they need some depth. They need some depth of people that are going to play this year because of the injury factors of their team the last 2-3 years. They have had so many injuries, and nothing they've done or the guys they've brought back has told me otherwise that that's not going to happen again this year.
Yeah, but you can't predict those, Pags. So
I understand that.
You can't draft a certain position because you say, hey, typically we have these people getting injured.
Right. And this year we don't have those glaring, you could say linebacker, but we don't have those glaring needs of we don't have a running back, shit like that. We are drafting for the future, and that is something that the Steelers, the Patriots, they have done for years. And I'm always thinking, why the fuck can't we be like that? And I think we're finally at that point, and it's a nice feeling.
Because the average age of this team, I believe, is in its late 20s, which for a football squad is on the older side of the National Football League. However, they are a bunch of talented individuals who are of that age. Right. So don't get me wrong. Yeah, these guys are getting older, but they're still producing. So that's where we're saying, hey, the future, you're going to need picks that are going to take a year, 2, 3 to develop, and that's where you don't have to reach for a need because ultimately we have to get younger across the board, which to me says, hey, 2 to 3 years from now, Howie Roseman is looking for at least 2, potentially 3 starters out of this draft in 2 years from now.
And you're gonna hate my first pick.
Okay, but hold on before we get there.
Man, you're gonna hate it.
All right, I like it. Before we get there, because what basically I'm kind of looking at right now is on last year's draft, everything we're hearing from Eagles insiders, guys who follow the team, or their sources, quote unquote, is that the Eagles are very high on Matt Pryor, who there was an offensive lineman, who even though he's like 6'7", they think he could play guard, as well as Jordan Mailata. And Stoutland, the offensive line coach, is kind of the driving factor between both of these. So, to me, that's saying, with the extension of Samalu, that offensive line is a depth need, and that's making me hesitant that they're going to pull the trigger, at least in round 1, because they do feel good with what they've got, because even after next year, you put Mailata in, you move Samalu to center, you put in Pryor, and you got Brooks and Johnson, and then you need depth. So you're not taking a first or second round guy for depth purposes in 2 to 3 years.
But at the same side, you look at what the Cowboys did, where they didn't need depth necessarily, or they needed depth. They didn't need a starter necessarily. They drafted all these dudes, and they have had one of the best offensive lines in football.
Yeah, and what's that gotten them, Pags?
Doesn't mean they have the rest of their shit together, but hey, their O-line is beast mode.
Their O-line is definitely beast mode, and that's why the Eagles match up with them, because they have that defensive line. But that's
Correct.
my philosophy, is the fact that I think they're going to take picks over people, even though I've seen, people like, well, let's jump into it. People like Rashawn Gary, whose name is apparently dropping due to red flags. And I do see the red flags, man, because they're basically saying his shoulder, which caused him to miss like 3 games at Michigan, is still an issue, and eventually he's going to need surgery. Now, obviously, you don't get surgery after you declare as a junior trying to go in the first round, and you're not going to get surgery right after you get drafted. So the kid's going to play this year, but he's not going to be 100% ever, and then he's going to need surgery in the offseason to fix it. But a Rashawn Gary at 100% 2 to 3 years from now is a top 5 to top 10 talent, to where if you get to those teens and 20s, this is the luxury of taking this guy, because your football team's good enough already that you can take talent and not a specific need.
Yeah, I just get hesitant because of the whole Sidney Jones thing, and they did that 2 years ago. Granted, Sidney Jones had a Achilles injury, but if you do draft this guy in the first round and his shoulder is fucked up, wouldn't you want him to get the surgery? Because what if he fucks it up even more?
So that's the deal, right? It depends on the recovery. If the recovery is anywhere like 4 months, Pags, then you just wait till the offseason, because you have 4 months. You
right,
just
but
play.
What if it gets worse?
Well, no, that's the thing, because if you're going to get him 100% next year, whether you get the surgery in May or you get the surgery in January, then you just wait till January and you get
Correct.
through it at that point.
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
We're not doctors.
Yes.
So
But he sat out 3 games at Michigan last year in a 12-game season. What the fuck is he going to do during a 16-game season where he's playing against people significantly stronger and better than what he faced at Michigan?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The
You're not
first
playing
year,
Rutgers.
yeah, the first year you sit him for 4 games because you have the depth of Long, Graham, Curry, and Barnett. So he would be your 5th guy regardless.
Hey, I know you want your boy on the team, and I like him too.
Dude,
lot.
instead of Rashawn Gary, I actually want Devin Bush to fall at the linebacker position, because I think he may be one of the best NFL players in this draft, and I just hope people think he's too small, but I know somebody's going to pull the trigger in the teens.
I mean, Jordan Hicks was too small. That was his knock.
Yeah, well, he was a 3rd-round guy. Like, this guy is a
Right.
first-round talent. It's just a matter of if he gets through the teens, which I don't know. And like I just mentioned, I would love to see him trade up.
I'm along the lines of you, where the more the better, the more depth the better, and I pretty much think he's going to do some sort of moving in this. I don't think we're going to just stand there and take our 9 picks and leave.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I think you're something along those lines too. I actually have a couple scenarios of if they do trade up and if they do trade down out of the first round of guys that they are kind of targeting or they think they're targeting.
Okay, well, who would they trade up for then, in your opinion? Because I gave you 2 in Gary and Bush, both Michigan guys. So who's on your list there of guys at target that may fall?
My number 1 is Cody Ford. 6'4", 329 guard out of Oklahoma. I
really?
am all for getting 2 Sooners on the same side of Lane and Cody Ford, and
so
pretty
that's
much solidifying that offensive line.
See, what are you doing with Brandon Brooks then, Pags? He's an all-pro. He's not going to be over there. He's going to have to play the left side, left guard.
Play left side. All right, fine. Yes, play. You're right.
But
That's
has
my
he
bad.
played the left
play
side?
The left side. I think he played tackle at Oklahoma, to be honest with you, and I think they're going to move him to guard.
Interesting, because it sounds like he's obviously a higher regarded Matt Pryor, and that gets back to my earlier argument where I'm like, I just don't know, Pags. I mean, I have seen his name in the mock drafts, even at 25, going to the Birds, so he's definitely worthy of that kind of selection, but if they do that on draft day, dude, I'm going to look at the screen and go, oh, man, fuck.
I get it.
I hope I'm wrong is pretty much what I'm going to say.
Here's a quote from Joe Douglas. We have a spot where he'll most likely start off, but you're going to have to stay tuned. That's whether he's going to play tackle or guard.
Okay.
I think he'll
So
probably
they
be a
asked
guard
Joe
depth for the
specifically
Birds.
about him. I like that.
So other ones I have, Antonio Brown's cousin, Marquise Hollywood Brown out of Oklahoma, another Sooner there.
Speedster
On
receiver,
the smaller
right?
side, very small, very fast, 5'9", 166 pounds. Coming off a foot injury, though.
See, wide receiver is an interesting position there because his name floats around in that area too, so I certainly see that as a potential possibility because Deshaun Jackson's contract is written for a 2-year contract, and Aguilar could be gone after this year. So, and Jeffrey's getting old, man. Again, wide receiver, a sneaky need for the future, and a first-round guy, people are going to go, wait, what? Really? But in a year or two, man, he may be making some plays for us. So that one I could see, actually, Howie making a move. And if he's there at 25, I would have him high on the list of potential guys.
And then I have another one, Clellan Farrell from Clemson. That's the first name's a nightmare.
Is he the D lineman?
Defensive end, edge rusher, 27 sacks in his 3-year career at Clemson.
Yeah, I think he's going to be gone before we can afford him.
Well, that's why I said the trade up.
Yeah,
he's
even
a trade up one.
I think he's too high. You know what I'm saying? I think he's top 10, top 15.
Too much to.
Yeah, they're not going to give up that. They're not going to give up a 2, a 4, and a 6. But, yeah, that dude's a stud. So if he falls, for sure.
Oh my God, there's just so much D-line depth in this draft, and I'm just like salivating at the fact. And I know I said I want them to take the old lineman, but I would be totally happy with an edge rusher / defensive tackle.
So now you're saying we're going to trade out of the first round and we're going to have 3 2s. So give me the guys that we're taking here.
Couple names that pop up. Don't know a lot about them, but I read about them.
I like it.
Jalen Ferguson, defensive end out of Louisiana Tech, 6'5", 271, set the FBS record with 45 career sacks in his tenure at Louisiana Tech. Evaluators have him as a second round grade, so that might be a name you look at that they could possibly take. Even if they don't trade back, maybe with one of their second round picks.
That's a funky guy there, because wasn't there a guy named like Davenport or something like that who was very similar out of a small school but had all the measurables and something like that, went early in the draft?
Yeah, where did he go? Oh, I forget, but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Jerry Tillery out of Notre Dame, defensive tackle. Later stages out of round 1 says he's looking at. He's a big dude. And then another one is Juan Thornhill, cornerback out of Virginia.
Interesting.
So get 2 Cavaliers in the back there with Rodney McLeod.
Smart guys, right? Draft the smart guys.
Exactly. The Charlottesville people.
That's it, man. But, hey, one name that I've seen here recently that I hadn't before even 48 hours ago to look for in the second round for the Birds is Darnell Savage, a safety out of Maryland. You know, we need secondary help, and everybody's hearing the names out of Delaware, Florida, I think a kid from Mississippi State. But apparently this Savage kid and his spider chart is very good, and he's fast, heavy, broad jump. The only thing is he's a little bit small, so that's where he's kind of fallen. He's a skinny, smaller kid, but athleticism's jumping off the board, and that's a name I've heard that don't be surprised if they take a flyer on him for another secondary piece.
Yeah, that's crazy. See, this is the beauty of the Eagles' depth chart right now is you don't have to. I mean, Hollywood Brown, yeah, that would be cool. It'd be another electric piece to the puzzle.
Well, just a great nickname right off the bat. So
yeah, Hollywood, yeah. So you get that. You get quarterbacks pretty much solidified. Whether you're sticking with,
they're going to take one of them late
Sudfeld
Pags. I'm telling you,
that's fine. You got running backs pretty much now with Jordan Howard kind of solidifying as your number 1 back, and you have the little artillery of the Corey Clements and Josh Adamses and Wendell Smallwoods. And then receiver, you have a ton of people. You got Ertz, you got Goddard, you got so much to deal with there that you don't really have to address that in the draft, and it's nice to finally have something like that.
I'm saying they're going defense, 2 out of the top 3. Would not be surprised if how the board falls. It's all 3, and That would just be a little bit scary because then they wouldn't go offense to round 4. But honestly, improve that defense, get some depth there, and I think we'll be okay on offense for at least another year.
Yeah, at least another year, and then Howie can wheel and deal and find us some other guys.
That's it. But hey, this is the Road to Victory podcast. This was our last draft preview. We're going to be coming to you guys live with instant analysis, 5-10 minutes, Thursday night on if they take somebody in the first round. Stay tuned. Like we just said, we don't know what the hell's going to happen, but Friday and Saturday will be a little bit busier, and we'll keep you guys updated with how the tri-state area is feeling.
I love it. Let's bring the draft back to Philadelphia.
Yeah, what the fuck? Nashville, come on.
Later, guys.
Eagles by 8. Brady lines them up. He's back again. He steps up. He's hit. He stumbles. He is throwing it deep for the end zone, and it is batted around and incomplete. And the game is over. The game is over. The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you. Let the celebration begin.